Saraswati Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshitarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas, for joining. We are reading the book entitled The Four Questions by His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu. And we have read till we have covered almost entire. Today is the last or the 12th session. The first question, what is my purpose, right? Followed by how can I be of service? Then where am I putting my attention, return on attention, and putting my attention right now? And sorry, the third question is what is the lesson? And the fourth is where am I putting my attention right now? So we are reading that section. And last time we were talking about the three modes. Everything is divided into the three modes. And we have to be conscious of what we consume, the physical food, and not only the physical food, but the mental food through the mediums of the gates of the body, right? So we discussed all that. And we also discussed some verses where we can know in which mode we are predominating, right? By our habits, by our way we speak, the way we eat, what we eat. So now let's talk about how do we ascend these modes, ascending, then transcending the three modes. Yes, Vedi, you want to start? Vedi, would like to read?
Hare Krishna. Ascending, then transcending the three modes. If our way of life keeps us involved in passion and ignorance, we will be swept away by these lower modes. But again, remember that we have the choice of where to place our awareness, and where attention goes, energy flows. At first, we may not always be able to make the right choice, but when we act with awareness of the consequences of superior and inferior choices, we begin to improve our investment of attention. We can't rise any higher than our priorities in life, and to upgrade our priorities, we need deliberation and good association. From there, through the practice of Bhakti Yoga, we can direct our attention toward service to the divine. Our original nature is to be happy by experiencing transcendental pleasure. It's simply a matter of knowing where the pleasure resides and applying the right principles. The first principle is to ask, where am I investing my attention right now? One who has transcended the modes is consistently happy for no apparent reason, simply because that's the nature of our original pure consciousness. Such persons are also happy because they have a healthy attitude toward possessions and relationships, car, house, family, friends, and so on, in that they appreciate them as gifts given to them by the Supreme, the source of everything.
How many of us want to be happy for no apparent reason? Isn't that wonderful? Hey, why are you happy? Hey, that's the nature of the soul, right? Why should I be miserable? Right? I should always be happy. That's the nature of the soul. And how can we get that? By having right attitude. Because of having a healthy attitude. And this is the big thing. What is healthy attitude? So through deliberation, deliberate to be deliberate, good association, bhakti yoga, all these things will certainly help. Okay, Lakshay, want to read?
Practice mantra meditation. To focus our attention, the Yoga Wisdom texts recommend the process of mantra meditation, fixing one's mind on a kind of potent sound. Authentic metaphysical sound vibrations may seem like any other sound, just a combination of syllables, but Vedic mantras originate from outside of the material world. They are eternal mantras passed on by generations of sadhus. These authorized mantras lift us above the influence of the three material modes. When we practice mantra meditation, the sound that we produce is not inert material sound, but transcendental sound that descends from the spiritual world and acts like an alarm clock to wake us up to our original pure consciousness. There are other forms of meditation, like starting at a flame or staring at a flame or concentrating on the breath. But mantra meditation, which is most recommended by authentic wisdom texts for the age in which we live, has a spiritual potency which other methods lack. This scientific principle of excitation helps to explain why mantra meditation is so potent. In physics, excitation is defined as the introduction of a higher energy to something situated in a lower state. When that higher energy touches an object of lower energy, it elevates the lower object to a higher state. Likewise, Vedic mantras energize us and bring us to a higher awareness, bringing us eventually to our original consciousness, which is eternal, full of knowledge and wisdom.
In summary, mantra meditation frees our mind from material absorption, the cause of all perplexity and anxiety, and opens up a world of spiritual knowledge and happiness. It's a beautiful summary for mantra meditation. So what it does, frees the mind from material perplexities, anxiety, stress, etc. And not only just removes the negative, but opens it up a world of spiritual knowledge and happiness. So removes the darkness and gives the real joy. It gradually awakens direct perception of our original consciousness and brings us back to our real life. The material pleasures are temporary at face value, but compared to spiritual pleasure, they are but a flash in the pan, utterly insignificant. Hare Krishna. So the importance of mantra meditation is shared here, right? The most recommended process in this day and age, which all of you are already doing. So all of you are very familiar with this great chant or great mantra for deliverance. Let's still read this section. Yes. Third, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. The mantra most highly recommended by the Vedas and sadhus alike is called the Maha Mantra, the great mantra for deliverance. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. The Kali Santarana Upanishad says that by chanting the Maha Mantra, one can overcome the myriad obstacles to spiritual advancement, distractions, procrastination, bad habits, and so on, that we inevitably face in modern age. The chanting of the Maha Mantra benefits not only those who recite it, but also others who hear it, thus initiating a purifying chain reaction that improves the world's atmosphere. Transcendental sounds reverses the dark influences created by the lower, defective sounds that pervade and degrade the world. Who hasn't noticed the unsettled state of the world these days? The epidemics of envy, sectarianism, hate, and violence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What's the takeaway, my friend?
It is like telling us how basically chanting will take us higher than the material aspects of the world, and it was like saying how like these days the world has been like the world has been what's the word for it, the world has been affected by these things like the world has been affected by the material things, and but chanting and meditating on Krishna's name is the way to like make us go higher and elevated, and if we do it enough, those material things will become like not good for us, and we'll understand how bad it is for our mental health. And yeah, Hare Krishna.
Wow. Stay high forever. Prabhupada said that, right? That's what it takes us high, right? Prabhupada said, what does chanting do? Sorry, when someone asked this, because some people have this understanding that these, substances, drugs, etc., that they take you high, right? in ignorance. But chanting, Prabhupada said, this will take you high, stay high forever. So, and then another beautiful question is answered, which may come sometime. Hey, why should we do like Sankirtan? Sometimes you may have seen, I mean, if you perform Sankirtan, like in public chanting or public singing of the Hare Krishna mantra, right? I think some of you did the Rath Yatra, so that was like public. So anyone who gets in touch with that sound vibration will also get benefited. That's like a chain reaction. Have you seen these videos? Some chain reaction, like of gratitude, like, okay, I help Athar, let's say, and Athar wants to kind of repay me something. I say, no, 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 don't repay me, help someone else, help one person you find in need, okay? And then that person would want to, so Athar, let's say, helps Lakshya, and Lakshya wants to offer something back. And then Athar says, no, 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 help one person you find. So that's a positive chain reaction, right? So what could be a better chain reaction than sharing the holy name? Okay, that's the point here. Thank you, Thar, for reading. Next, Vinita, I want to read.
The power of spiritual sound vibration. Every physical particle in the universe, each cell in one's body, has a particular vibration, and all material manifestations are held together by vibrational forces. According to Vedic thought, we, as conscious entities, are part of the higher energy above this world of inert matter. Our good fortune comes from connecting to this higher energy, which is perfect, eternal, and blissful. Our failures come from investing our sense of worth and happiness in the material realm, which is temporary and full of misery. When we invest our attention in listening to sounds tinged by the three modes, we tie ourselves to the material realm and its miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. Hearing transcendental sounds elevates us above matter, allowing us not only to perceive our spiritual nature, but also to be in direct contact with our original divine source, Krishna. Srila Prabhupada describes the benefits of listening to these sounds. As living spiritual souls, we are all originally Krishna conscious entities, but due to our association with matter since time immemorial, our consciousness is now polluted by the material atmosphere. In this polluted concept of life, we are all trying to exploit the resources of material nature, but actually, we are becoming more and more entangled in her complexities. This illusion is called Maya, or the hard struggle for existence over the stringent laws of material nature. This illusory struggle against the material nature can at once be stopped by revival of our Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind. This consciousness is the original energy of the living entity. When we hear the transcendental vibration, this consciousness is revived. The best way to invoke eternal and external peace, therefore, is to individually and collectively hear and chant transcendental sounds that culminate in the Maha Mantra, which harmonizes our energy with the Supreme. Should I keep going?
Sure.
Okay. The Maha Mantra contains 3 words, Hare, Krishna, and Rama. Hare refers to the energy of our energetic divine source. Krishna is that energetic divine source of all energies. Rama means the wellspring of eternal happiness. Srila Prabhupada taught that the Maha Mantra is a prayerful call. O energy of the Supreme, O Supreme, please engage me in your service. The Maha Mantra is uniquely potent because the names of the divine are non-different from the divine. Since Krishna is absolute, all his features, such as his name and form, are also absolute. By reciting the Maha Mantra, we come into direct contact with him, our supreme source.
Any comments here? Thoughts? Everyone gets the mood of chanting? Like, what is the meaning? Why are we chanting? Whom are we praying to? And this is the method to get free from all the perplexities or Maya. It will take time because we have been, due to our association with matter since time immemorial. So since a very long time, we have been conditioned by bad ideas, and conditionings. It will take time. But this is the only process, the easiest process, the most sublime process, and everyone can do. But the way we do it, how sincerely we do it, we'll see those results. Anyone has any thoughts, comments there? How many round everyone is doing? Say with their fingers. 1, 2, 10, 20. How many are you doing every day? This mantra meditation. 6. Vanita is 6. Avni 4. 5. Lakshay 5. 4. Atar 3. Very nice. 6. Okay. Nice. Very good. It's very good. I mean, great job. I mean, when I was your age, I didn't even know about this process, what to speak of doing it, right? I was doing some mantras and, of course, going to holy places, but I was not that fortunate as all of you to have, such good association and books and everything. So all of you are really fortunate, my friends. And you are not just fortunate, but you are tapping into that fortune, right? By taking your time, energy, and building a life centered around values and shastras. So please, you will see a big difference, especially as some of you are even going to college in 1 or 2 years. I'm sure you're seeing difference now also, and you will see more and more difference as years will come between someone who's practicing the path of bhakti and someone who is not. So please continue this mantra meditation. Yes. Avani?
Fix your attention by making a vow. Since the quality of our determination comes from the material modes we have acquired, those who want to remain steady in their determinations should cultivate the mode of goodness. When our food, association, music, all our choices are in goodness, we naturally feel determined. One way to be fixed in goodness is to make a vow. The mind is constantly running off in all directions, and a vow can help us fix and properly invest our attention. For instance, we can make a vow to chant a certain number of mantras every day. This is called Sankhya Purvak. purvak, which means numerical strength. If you set a goal for the number of mantras you recite every day and stick to it, the effect will be more substantial, similar to how a doctor might prescribe a medicine and say, here's 10 days worth, take 2 a day and make sure you take them all even if you start to feel better. Setting a numerical vow for our practices helps tame the mind because once we make a vow, the regularity of our practice becomes fixed and not dependent on the mind's whims. Some days, when we are in tune, we'll think, this vow was a great idea, and we'll be happy and inspired to complete the practice. Other days, our mind may think, I'm not really into this, but because of our vow, we'll be able to stick to our practice. When the mind is defiant, the intelligent kicks in and says, we made this vow for a reason, we're going to stick to it. By keeping a vow, we develop spiritual strength, which enables us to resist the mind's various whimsies and temptations.
Okay, scholar, what's the takeaway?
Making vows can really help us stay disciplined and helps us improve over time. Like how he just gave the example of how the doctor will prescribe you medicine, but even when you start to feel better, you still have to take the medicine for that certain amount of days. So the same thing with the vow, you have to take your vow. It's a numeric, forgetting what the other word was, but it was numerical strength, I think. And saying that if you keep a certain number and you do that every day, then over time you will feel a change.
Very nice. And there will be, the biggest point is that there will be days when mind will say, no, why is it important? But we take a vow, then it becomes easy. Oh, I have taken a vow. I must do it, right? The Sanskrit word is sankalpa, right? Sankalpa, vikalpa. Vikalpa means options. Mind will give vikalpa, but sankalpa will help us to stay drida. Are you following the two words? Look similar. Sankalpa, vikalpa. Vikalpa means options. Oh, maybe we better watch a movie rather than chanting. Mind will say that. But no. Oh, my mind. Like Haridas Thakur also. They were vikalpa. A lady came to her to kind of, enchant her for wrong things. But Haridas Thakur said, no, I have a sankalpa, right? I need to chant only 192 rounds before I talk to you. Right? Only 192 rounds per day, not per month, right? Per day, I need to chant 192 rounds, and then I will talk to you. So he was chanting. The lady was hearing and sitting and waiting. And this guy's business is going to get over, and then he'll talk to me. And then guess what? The whole day passed, and he said, "So sorry, I couldn't talk to you because my chanting was not over. But now a new day has started. I need to chant 192 for this day, and then I'll talk to you." So we cannot imitate 192, but we can imitate the principle. We can follow in the footsteps, and this is the principle. The principle is to prioritize important things. Mind will say, watch a movie, PlayStation, this, that, but let's ensure the important things are done foremost. Sankalpa, because we have a Sankalpa. His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu also says, your pledge is your wedge. Your pledge is your wedge. What does it mean? Let's say we are going uphill, right? We are trying to go uphill. Is it easy to go uphill? It's not. There are chances of falling. There are chances, but the pledge is like a wedge. It will support us. Okay, you're chanting 4 rounds. Okay, no matter what, I won't fall below 4 rounds. but after some time you may take another wedge and take a leap. So this wedge will hold you from kind of falling down. Okay, now you are at 8 rounds, right? So now you are here after, I'm sure you started with like 1 or 2 rounds, and now you're chanting for 8 rounds. Is it making a difference? So call it sankalpa, call it vow, call it pledge. Helps in the journey upwards. It's easy to degrade. Doing bad things, not much sankalpa required, right? Any other comments here? Okay, Karina.
Hare Krishna, then I'll open up. Be consistent. Consistency is more important than quantity, so it's best to start with a vow we can maintain, however small it may be. If we stay consistent over time, both the quantity and the quality of our practice will improve. When we add even a small amount of yogurt to a large pot of milk in a favorable environment, the entire pot of milk transforms into yogurt overnight. Because consistent bhakti practice is like that drop of yogurt. Adding even a little to our daily schedule will not only improve the quality of each day, but will eventually spiritualize our whole entire life. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Consistency. Practice, regular practice. Like all of you are doing, chanting some consistent number of rounds, doing. So have a daily kind of packet of, right? Consistent spiritual dose. Even with material things, if someone wants to get healthy, do you think they'll do exercise one day and even if for 5 hours they'll be like good health? So doing exercise for one day, 5 hours, is that better? Or you think like even for 15 minutes, 3, 4 times a week, right? The second one. So the consistency. So we all have our schedules, our priorities, our lifestyles and stuff. So we add something to it, and gradually the quantity and the quality will improve, because the bad time will save more time, because where we are wasting time will go away, and will be more efficient, more productive, more happier, right? Yesterday I was reading 1 minute of planning saves 5 to 10 minutes of execution. We'll be able to better organize our life, better plan our life. We'll be able to save a lot more time. So consistency, let's take some takeaways. Where attention goes, energy flows. By deliberating, you become more deliberate in your actions. ROA, return on in attention. So invest wisely, right? To maximize the return. Your level of contentment depends on your content. Content means here what? What content is going in? What are we consuming? We are consumers. Consumers consume content. Content marketing is a big thing, right? These days. Everyone is content creator these days. And there is a lot of market for it. So, but we have to be careful what are we consuming? Practice mantra meditation to transcend the material modes and feel inner happiness. Okay, journal prompts. List the 10 things you spend the most time doing. Figure out which one takes up the most time. Decide which ones you'd like to invest more or less time in. Right? So we can divide our day and see where are we get this, spending most time. Maybe on sleeping, eating, whatever things, watching TV, phone, games, studies. So some things we would like to increase our time maybe, which are good for us, and some things we would like to reduce our time, right? Which are not so good for us. So this is a personal, like, reflective exercise. Make a tweak to your schedule to improve your ROA. Do you think is an interesting exercise to be worked on? Do all of you think there are some areas where you would like to invest more time and there are some areas you want to reduce your time? How many of you think you have areas like that? Right? So when we do this in a planned way, it will help. We all know those areas perhaps, but maybe they're not so organized. But when we do this in a structured way, it will help. It will help us to understand and at least pick one area. One area I want to increase my time. One area I want to reduce my time. If we increase our time in the area which is productive, guess what happens? In the return on attention grows. And one area we reduce our time, right? So it's basically losses. In financial terms, you reduce your losses. And in financial term, you increase your gains, right? So basically you have to cut down the losses, the return on attention where it's having, like where they're draining our attention, right? So we have to cut down those. And the ones which are improving us, we want to invest more there. Is it following? Everyone following up? Like the finance, profit, loss, and the return, profit, loss? Third, what's your one area? Would like to share if it's not personal?
One area I need to focus on more is probably like studying and having like interest in studying, and yeah.
Okay. To increase, huh? Or reduce?
Increase.
Increase. Okay, just making sure. That's good. Anyone wants to share one area where they like to cut down upon? No idea? Okay, too personal. Maybe you don't have that, right? No one has? Avani has one? No? Okay, that means no one of you is wasting any time.
I'm pretty sure I do have one. It's not coming to my mind right now. Anything.
It's fine. Yeah. So please, everyone try to do this. Okay. It will just help us. Okay. So our dear Supreme Lord Krishna. So conclusion. Okay. Let's quickly read the conclusion. Who has not read yet? Anyone has not read?
I
Yes.
can read, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Conclusion. Practice asking. Now we have the 4 questions. First, what is my purpose? Second, how may I be of service? Third, what is the lesson? And 4, where am I investing my attention right now? But it takes practice to develop the habit of asking them, just as it takes practice to learn to play a musical instrument. With practice of any discipline come obstacles. These obstacles are opportunities to ask relevant questions about how to proceed. At first, the discipline needed to ask the 4 questions may seem challenging, but it's worth the effort. It can help to write them down and keep them with you. Someone recently told me that he found the questions to be amazing tools that helped him build a stronger foundation for his life and gave him a deeper sense of purpose. He said, these 4 questions have ignited in me a greater sense of confidence in all my endeavors and a deeper spiritual outlook. By preparing ourselves to ask the right questions in times of stress, we'll have a rope with which to pull ourselves out of the quicksand of frustration and anxiety. Those who practice asking the 4 questions grow spiritually. The questions give rise to the realization that we are spiritual, not merely physical, mental, or intellectual beings. The more we ask them, the more we align ourselves with the highest energies of the universe. Asking the right questions really does bring us the answers that enrich our lives. As humans, we can adapt. Our minds are flexible and can adjust to the world's ever changing circumstances. In the bhakti practice, the primary way by which we adapt is by becoming master askers. The 4 questions are like an existential repositioning system. When we ask them, we facilitate growth in all areas of our lives. We are not going to know all the answers. We never could. The world is fast moving and vast. But we can become lifelong learners. The 4 questions are universal. They are applicable in any spiritual practice and all aspects of our lives. The Bhakti text explain that when we regulate ourselves and develop a spiritual routine in our lives, we gain freedom. It may seem paradoxical that the more disciplined we become, the freer we are. But the process of sincere spiritual practice frees us from misconceptions and illusions and allows us to follow our true nature and relish our inherent joy. Thank you, dear reader, for okay. I'm just reading on behalf of Prabhuji. Thank you, dear reader, for reading this book. May the 4 questions guide us as we work to gather to do good for ourselves and the world. May we ask our way to clarity and ultimately to an ever stronger connection to Krishna, our divine source. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So what's the conclusion? Anyone?
That we have to be master askers. We have to ask right question and I think right time, right? Like we have to ask right question at right time.
Right time, especially in the challenging times, right? And we'll become joyful. We'll develop stronger connection to the Supreme Lord. We'll have clarity. What is Arjuna doing in the Bhagavad Gita? He's asking those questions. These are existential questions to the Supreme Lord. Arjuna is asking like 16 plus questions in the Bhagavad Gita. So, dear friends, this brings us to the end of the book. There is some glossary. This is especially for those who are not familiar with Sanskrit terms, but all of you are quite familiar. In case you want to go through, you can always, it's handy. We have already read about the author in the very beginning, so in case you want to reach out to him, feel free to offer your gratitude or any words you may have. So this completes the book. There are general prompts at the end of every chapter, so which I highly suggest to do because it's only going to help us as an individual and as a community, as a family. So thank you. I'm so grateful. How many of you feel happy after completing the book? Okay. Isn't that like nice when we do a sankalpa and when we complete it, it gives us a joy, right? So we should set goals, even if they're small goals, right? Divide the bigger task into smaller pieces and keep doing those small pieces, and then we'll realize, oh, the book we have completed. How many of you feel more mature and more knowledgeable after reading this book, right? We feel better equipped to handle life's challenges when they come across, right? It really helps. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is very, very powerful, especially spiritual knowledge. Any quick thoughts, comments, questions on the last session as we are wrapping up the book?
Hare
Just
Krishna.
one.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji. Go ahead.
Prabhuji, the last figure, what do you make of it in the last portion?
Last figure, which one?
Abhi jo tha.
This?
Yeah, this one.
This is referring to, I believe, like a map. It's a lifelong, we are lifelong learners, like someone who is kind of lost. This is their destination is denoted in Google Maps. So we are to figure out the path. So these questions will help us to understand our true self, figure out our true journey and get to our true destination.
Okay.
That's my take, but I guess Prabhu has left it on individuals to kind of. Anyone else
In,
want to share their thoughts?
it makes sense, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Any other thoughts, comments?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I was just sharing mine for the consistency topic. So, how in this book, Prabhuji has explained about taking that vow, making vow to self, like, So, in addition to that, like, we can also, make friends who we can, set as like, we are accountable to, like, we tell our like we open our heart, we say that okay, this is a vow I have made, so that like not just like own self but somebody external also knows that okay, this person has made so and so vow, and that gives a feeling that okay, I am accountable to complete my vow that I have taken. So that helped me actually, so I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Certainly very, very helpful. I was hearing a class by His Grace Amrinder Prabhu. He said one of the biggest good things you can do for your bhakti is to have accountability in your sadhana chart, which I need to actually develop. So this is my kind of takeaway from that class and from also from here. As Mataji said, it really helps to be consistent, right? When we see someone is, watching us, someone is guiding us, someone is helping us, it makes a difference, right? We are not such a paramhamsa that we can manage everything on our own. We need superior guidance and accountability. Anyone else before we wrap up? Okay, so everyone, I think some of you are making some presentations around it. So please make something out of it, right? The 4 journal prompts. And then you can write a book summary, or you can make a presentation for one question or all questions combined. But try to kind of absorb and reflect. So we'll pause here and we'll read many, many more such books in future. I'm so grateful. Thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for giving your Sangha. I apologize for sometimes there are technical issues, sometimes there are unprecedented things, but all of you have been very kind and patient and tolerant. So I'm very, very grateful to all of you. Avni, Vedehi, Atar, Karina, Vinita, Lakshay, Shital Mataji, and Anita Mataji, and there are a few others also joined 1 or 2 sessions. I'm grateful to everyone, and also to those who are watching this online at any point in future. There are quite a few devotees who see it online. Very, very grateful. So we pray on behalf of all of us that we may not just read books, but try to sincerely absorb the content and try to apply it on our lives so that we can become better version of ourselves and ultimately always be happy, grateful, humble, and Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhya eva cha Patanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Vishnu ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.